Welcome back to the channel. 2023 Dungeness Crab season opener. I'm about to do a long intro. If you want, you can stick around, but if not, I'll put a playhead where the video actually starts.
Kind of a different setup since I've last come out. My setup seems to always change, partially because I'm always breaking stuff, always losing stuff, so it's never the same. We're gonna take this down. It took quite a while to get here. Always seem to encounter traffic. Made it just a couple miles down, and then some truck flipped, so it's a lot of traffic. PSA, don't drive in the fog super fast. Just slow down. I only use 2 of these board straps. They're the same ones that you use to go surfing. It's a lot easier than ratchet straps. Yeah, easier takedown, and also doesn't put too much strain on the kayak. You just need it to not move around, but it doesn't need to be much tighter than that. I haven't really figured out where to strap the front, so that's why I didn't do that. Usually I have a front tie and a back tie. I felt pretty secure about just the 2, but definitely would recommend doing 4. I unfortunately have had kayaks come off on the freeway, so. Keep these beach wheels on. Since usually I'm the only one that kayak fishes in my group, or kayak crabs, I tend to be the only one that comes out here with a kayak, so I never have anyone to help me really push it up this beach or down this beach. Even with these sand wheels, it is quite heavy to do. I'm actually thinking of taking the traps separately just because it's so heavy, and sometimes just taking it on the wheels, the kayak already flips. I learned that this is actually a great position to put on the wheels. Before I was kind of taking it down, then putting it on the wheels, but who knows why I did that.
Setup can take quite a while sometimes, so I put the GoPro on time lapse. It's basically just a blast of gear out of the car onto the kayak, but I get a lot of questions on how I set everything up, so I figured I'd include this. For those of you wondering what gear I use a Torqeedo 1103 motor with a standard battery, and that's wired up to Outdoor Sportsman foot pedals. As for the wheels, I have the Boondock system with sand wheels. The added tracks and mounts are all Yak Attack except for the Scotty Pop pulley, which is resin filled into the rod holder. If you ever have any random questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below.
Just about done with the setup. I feel like the setup always takes forever. I must have been here for like probably around 30 minutes. Not too bad. There definitely have been times where I take like a good hour to set things up. So for bait today, we're using chicken drumsticks. Any type of meat will work. Crab are scavengers. They'll go after anything on the bottom. The reason I like to use the drumsticks though is because sometimes I have these soaking for quite a while, and sometimes I'm out for quite a while. If I just put chicken breast in, a lot of times I find that the crab will take it all out and just like run away with it, maybe because they don't want to compete with the other crabs. Who knows why, but they take it out of the cages pretty easily. The bone on the drumsticks makes it a lot harder to take out, and also sometimes the crab just come for the bone. And I've had some traps with bait cages just full of basically bones by the end of the day, and crabs still come for them. So that's why we're using that. This isn't sponsored, but I get all the chicken at Grocery Outlet because it's just always so cheap. I can't imagine buying a chicken at like Safeway and then going crabbing with that. So for both of these things of chicken, it was like $20. That's pretty cheap, come on. With inflation. Anyways, let's get set up. A lot of you guys are worried about salmonella too. Sometimes I get comments asking about if I've ever gotten salmonella. Sometimes I get comments from people that have gotten salmonella from using chicken as bait, but maybe just bring hand sanitizer out. I'm not really eating anything out there too often, so we'll just throw some of these chicken breasts in. Just had these in the freezer though, so they're all still stuck.
Just gonna wait for this big swell, then we're gonna go in. Looks like it should be a calm, straight shoot after that. But that's what I always say. There's a lot of kayaks out here. I don't know the luck they're having right now. All right, after that, should be good to go. It's a heavy setup to drag, so man, it just takes forever to get out. But we are out. And just like that, the 2023 Dungeness Crab season opener has started. Well, for me at least. Let's get the motor in. Don't want to spend a bunch of energy. Oh yeah, we have foot pedal steering now. Should be a good day. I've checked kind of the crab population the past couple months, and it looks good from what I've seen.
I'm definitely not the first one out here. There have been so many kayaks out here for such a long time. I took quite a while to get ready. That first setup always just takes so long, and usually you forget something. I'm sure you guys know how it is. You haven't touched your crab gear for months, and all of a sudden, the day before, just trying to get everything together. Oh shoot, I don't have that carabiner. Oh shoot, I don't even have a crab trap. Wait, do I have bait? All this stuff, but we're finally out on the water. It is a decently calm day. Hopefully the wind doesn't pick up too much, because if it does, I'll have to bail. But we shall see. We'll see. I'm gonna drop the first trap. All right, we're just gonna throw that buoy out there. Make sure all the line's not tangled, at least for this first one, just because I was messing with all the rope as I was setting it up. Looks good. This is only 100 feet of line, but it's only like 50 feet deep here, so shouldn't be too bad. Let me just mark that. Waypoint 113. Do I clear my waypoints? No, I don't. Should I clear my waypoints? Probably. All right, well, that one's down. Let's go set the next one. Not too far away. I'm using my triangle method. Basically have all the traps, yeah, like pretty much in a triangle. I don't like to set them too far apart, because then it just takes forever to pick them all back up. But if you set them too close, you're kind of targeting the same amount of crab, especially if you're soaking for long periods of time. Not too close, but not too far away is the goal. Max efficiency out here. We're trying to get a limit, so we'll see. Same thing with this one. Just throw that line out, mark the spot. More line, more line, more line. Okay, no tangles, carabiners on. Great, that's going in. Marking that spot, 114. There we go. Shoot. I don't like when the line's too close to the motor, because sometimes it gets caught. I'm just gonna hold the motor out for a little bit. I actually like being a little closer to shore, so we're gonna turn right back around. I don't find that like going super far out is too beneficial. So what I like about the GoPro system is that I can do a multi-cam setup and control it from here. What I don't like about the GoPro system is it's always so finicky. Whether it's voice command or the remote, sometimes the pairing just doesn't work. At any given point, you're wondering if you even got the footage that you wanted to get. So I'd say GoPro is pretty unreliable, but I do like their system. I like their setup. They're pretty much like the best in the market. DJI, I feel like DJI will overtake them in like a couple of years, and GoPro will be run out of business, but that's just my predictions. All right, we're gonna mark here and just go for that. All right, third trap going in. Only 11 minutes out in the water, and we already have all 3 traps in, so that is good, especially after all that long setup. Well, we got a new reel. It is a, I was gonna say Shimano Spheros. Oh yeah, Shimano, no way. Shimano makes bike stuff too. Well, I mean, I guess that makes sense. They're both gears turning, so that makes sense. Anyways, it's a Shimano Spheros. Seagull's being rude again. But anyways, it's a Shimano Spheros. Just picked it up 2 days ago. It is a IPX8 reel. I think the most important thing I look for with reels is just making sure they're fully water sealed, or at least as much as they can be, because I tend to drop my stuff in the water all the time. If a reel is $80, but it will rust as soon as it's touched by water, I would rather spend double that price to make sure it's sealed, and then I can drop it a couple times before it breaks. That's basically all I was looking for. I also did want a spinning reel instead of a bait caster. I just think they're so much easier to use. I'm not too familiar with the bait caster system, and I tend to just get more tangles. I feel like for ocean fishing, it's not too much about mechanics, especially when you are targeting rockfish. I don't really know if a bait caster would bring any benefits compared to the headache they can cause when they bird's nest or whatever in the world. I got 80-pound braid on it. Usually I have a braid set up just because it can fit more line, and also a starting knot for braid is just a Palmar knot. That takes 2 seconds to do. So much faster than using mono. Also, you can go 80 pounds with braid. You just have to be really careful about rubbing it against rocks if you are doing jigging. which is what I usually do. But yeah, we have 80-pound braid, just doing a Palmar knot to a swivel. And then after that, I'm gonna be adding a 30-pound monofilament leader, probably around like 3 feet, 4 feet or so, just because this is some thick braid. I don't wanna just fish with it. The fish can see that. I did in fact forget something. I forgot my leader line. So this 80-pound mono is straight up what we're using. That's huge. I don't know if the catch rate is gonna be too good with that. There are so many people out here. It is pretty crazy. We've got 2 boats, tons of kayaks right here, more boats in the distance. Everyone's out for crabbing season. That's typically how the opener usually is. It's pretty packed on the waters. If you're trying to use a boat ramp, I imagine Half Moon Bay was probably packed trying to get out. The piers, oh my goodness, the piers on the first day, they're just jam-packed. Pacifica Pier opens at 4 a.m. I went there last year for a season opener and it was just jam-packed. So I can imagine how the piers are on opening day. Pretty busy, but hey, fresh Dungeness crab, who can say no to that? It's been around an hour. I feel like 20 minutes is too short. I've done a 3-hour soak one time when I was diving, and that was actually really successful because it was just soaking all day. I was surprised the crab didn't go through all the chicken right away. I was fishing, I got 2 bites, but wasn't able to get them hooked. We're going to go check that first trap right now. Enough rambling, let's get to the crab. Am I excited? I am very excited. Crabbing is so fun. I don't know what it is about crabbing. Maybe it's like the anticipation of what's gonna be in here, you know? It's like gambling. No, it's not like gambling. Well, kind of, isn't it? All right, let's see. Which way are we getting this? Which way are we getting this? Am I gonna even grab it? Okay, cool. So we do have a pulley right here, but I actually took a Scotty pulley, threw it in one of these rod holders, filled it with resin. That's still drying. I didn't know resin takes such a long time to dry, but we're gonna start pulling this trap right here. It doesn't feel too heavy, but sometimes that just means we're not at the trap yet. We are pulling from an angle, so yeah, that does not feel heavy at all. At the same time, I am used to pulling, oh shoot, that's heavy. I am used to pulling from the pop puller, and that's very helpful. This is really heavy, but last time it was heavy like this, they were just weeds. And also, your shoulders just do so much work when you're pulling it straight up like this. Wow, that is very, very heavy. Oh shoot, this might be a limit in the first one. That is a crazy catch right off the bat. This is an amazing opener. So many keepers in here, it looks like. If we can get them on the kayak without flipping it, because it weighs so much. Let's get my legs out of this line. I do not like when I have line in my legs. That's a bad no we try to avoid. All right, got that. Let's grab the gauge, although I don't even have to use the gauge for a lot of these. They just look like keepers. Put this on the kayak. Is it caught on something? Oh, wow, let's go. I am hyped. I know this one's not a keeper, so we're just gonna chuck it. Less claws in the way. Chuck. This one is a gauge buster. Look at that. Barely had to measure it. This thing's like 7 inches already. Wow. Keeping that. There we go. First crab of the season secured. Oh, feisty. That one is massive. All right. Let's grab this. Usually if you hold them by the back 2 legs, they can't reach you, they can't pinch you. Their back legs can't even get you. This one's another keeper. Second keeper of the day. Let's go. Throwing them in the bag. These are so big, they might not even fit in the mesh bag. Got another one over here. This one is missing a couple legs. It's actually missing half its legs. I might actually let it go. Yeah, it's definitely a keeper, but I'm gonna let it go. There we go. That one is massive. I'm really excited to check this one out. Oh shoot, this thing is huge. It's just a huge crab. Look at that. It's massive. It's like the size of my face. Way bigger than 6 3/4. This has to be Probably a good 7-incher. First 7-incher of the season. Look at that deep purple on it. The purple and orange of the Dungeness crab is just so aesthetic. I think they're such cool looking creatures, like that orange on the leg, the purple right here, the nice like ombre they have on their shell. They're amazing. They're beautiful creatures. They just happen to be very tasty. Ow, ooh, almost got pinched there. All right, that's the third keeper. This is a keeper. Doesn't have the claw. Claw is not necessarily my favorite though. Okay, it is a keeper, but it is pretty small. I think I'm just gonna throw it in because we still have so many more traps to check. We have 2 more traps to check and we're already almost full. So yeah, we're gonna throw it back in. That's the second keeper we're throwing in. Hey, first female Dungeness crab of the season. All right, not a keeper. This one's definitely a keeper. It is a smaller one though. This one's around 6 inches. Dungeness crab just have to be over 5 3/4. In California, they can be male or female. You can keep both. Most crabbers will elect to only keep the male crab just because the female crab have more reproductive value. So this one is a male. You can tell because this part right here is like pointed shape. On the females, it will be round like a pouch. All right, this is the fourth keeper. Kind of don't even want to throw it in the bag because it is a smaller one. So we're gonna just throw it back here. Hopefully it stays on. I'm not too worried. Another 6-incher. We're gonna throw it in the back. These guys have a bunch of muck on them. Look at all that muck. Way over 5 3/4 again, but it is a smaller one. I'm throwing it back here. Those are gonna be the backups to throw out when we catch bigger ones. The bigger they are, the more meat they have, so. This guy's huge. Whoa. And when they're very lively like this, it tells me they're probably not like sick, probably not harmful at all to eat. Okay, another 6-incher, but I'm gonna throw this one in, so that makes 4 official ones that I'm keeping, and we have, oh shoot, that almost pinched me. Oh, they have some strong pincers and they'll really do damage if you let them. So you got to be super careful about how you hold them. Okay, so we've got 4 keepers in here, 3 backups in the back. I don't even want to drop this trap in again just because I don't think I'm going to need to. All right, come on, get out of here, crab. I'm not trying to keep you. Come on, baby crab. I'm not trying to keep you. We already got way bigger ones than you. Just let go. Let go. Yes. I'm not gonna throw this back in. I already have so many from just this one. I feel like we're gonna limit out on the next 2. Oh, my shoulders are so tired just from the last pot. That was heavy. We'll do the other side just to give the other one a break. Whenever you grab a buoy, just make sure you check that you have your ID on there. You don't want to pull someone else's. They all look the same. Just check your buoys, guys. Let's pull this one. Hopefully it's as heavy as the last. All this loose rope always gives me like, I don't know if it's going to be full or not, but that's how it always is. You just pull the loose rope and then finally get to the pot and you're like, wow, that is actually heavy. This one's not as heavy as the last one, but it is still pretty heavy. Okay, yeah, it's pretty heavy. It's pretty heavy. If you guys ever learn anything from watching me, it's never assume what's in the trap just based off of, oh man, wow, that is, that's full. Another couple good keepers in here. Oh, I'm tired. That one is huge. That's huge. So this is a good example of a female crab. And as you can see, this one has eggs. The pouch is rounded. I don't know how many eggs it carries, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's in the millions, which is why their reproductive value is just so much more than a male Dungeness crab. These females, super important to the ecosystem. We always throw them back in. Almost got the second back leg. There we go. Let go of the trap. It's nice. What's it on? What's it on? Look, that back grip, perfect. Let's see, what are we thinking? A keeper? Definitely a keeper. Way over 6 1/4. We'll throw this in the bag. That's 5 for sure keepers. It's gonna be like the fastest limit I've ever done. It's like holding on for dear life. All right, there we go. You're trapped. This one is a small one. Throwing it out. This one's pretty small. The legs are pretty small. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a keeper, but I'm throwing it back in. Let go. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, we'll have that one hanging off. If it decides to let go, it will fall off. Let go. Okay, there we go. Oh, shoot. I'll start this again in the next trap. Coming up on the last trap. Am I gonna reach it or am I gonna knock everything over? Well, I didn't knock everything over, so. The rope, I'm just gonna throw it out to the other side just because the last time it was kind of messy. Unplug the motor and let's go. Before I take this last one out, let me just say right now, I have 5 huge keepers in this bag, 3 keepers right there. I just need 2 keepers to limit out. And if they're big, that's a plus. If they're not too big, I think I'm just gonna take them anyways, just so I don't have to drop the traps and come back. If there are 2 more keepers in here, that will be a limit in 45 minutes. That's fast. Enough of me being dramatic. Let's get to it. All right, last trap, here we go. You can't pull these too slow because if you do, all the crab will run out. And if you drop a hoop net, basically anything in there will go floating out of it. That's like worst case scenario for these types of pools. I definitely prefer hoop nets over like the box traps because the box traps just take forever to fill. Whoa, there's some huge ones in here. Nice, that's it. We're going with the limit in 45. Now let's measure this. Way over 6 1/4. That is the keeper right there. 6 big ones over 6 1/4 right there. Oh, this one's also huge. They just weigh so much when they're this big. Let's measure this one. It just beats the 6 1/4. This one's definitely a 7-incher. Huge. This is also way over 6 1/4. Yeah, this is another 7-inch Dungeness crab. That's our 3rd 7-inch Dungeness crab. That's crazy. All right, 7 enormous crab in there. Going out. You want to go out? They're pinching each other. Bye. All right, this is a keeper right here. But if you see that hole, usually if they have holes in them, they're pretty beat up on the inside. Have a lot of infection and stuff, so we're throwing it out. Okay, quick head count. Where did I just put my bag? Almost threw it overboard. Of course I did. All right, there's 10. There we go. 8. Get out of here. No one wants you. No one wants you. We're not even looking to, we're not looking to get you. You need no problems. Still fishing along just for a little bit more. I'm coming out to a spot that I've never gone to before, and it is quite a ways from the launch site. Actually has me a little bit nervous to come out this far. I'm used to fishing in just like small protected bays. This is still in like the protected spot, but like just going maybe a 1/4 mile out more and then I'm fully out. So that's kind of crazy. I have never fished that far, and without like another kayaker with me, I don't think I'd go out that far. I always like to stay pretty close to shore. If I don't have anyone with me and something goes wrong, what am I gonna do? Swim back? No way. Fish for a little bit more. I got one small bite at the point over there. Not much action other than that. I don't know if the sun being out was the deciding factor in making the fishing so good for just 30 minutes. But we're headed back out right now. That was actually really fun. The fog went away for a little bit and it's just beautiful out here. It's just so beautiful being out here on the water. And there's that mist that's just off this point glowing in the background. It looked crazy when all the birds went flying off of it. We're hitting 5.6 miles per hour right now. That's fast. That's the fastest I've gone on this kayak. Obviously, we do have the current helping us, but still, that's fast. But it is so nice to just be like chilling here, moving at 5.6 miles an hour. Normally paddling this takes like 30 minutes, and if current and if the tide's going out, even longer. But with this, it just speeds along. And the battery on this lasts forever too. I don't think I have ever drained it down less than 50%. And that was on a really, really long day. I was out for probably around 7 hours. It looks like this exit is gonna be really easy. I don't see any white water over there at all. Wow, perfect entry, looks like perfect exit, beautiful day out on the water, a limit of Dungeness crab with a 45-minute soak. I don't think I've had a better day than this. That's like the easiest exit I've ever had.